Dr. Christopher Barker, and welcome back to Holding Space. Thank you for holding space for me today. We're getting ready for some snow outside, and it's one of those things that prompts some anxiety among people. So today we're going to talk about anxiety. I know when I was at the Evolution of Psychotherapy, I promised I would give you a little more information about Lynn Lyons' presentation on anxiety and how to deal with it. She said a lot of things about how anxiety is a normal emotion, and that's something that I've talked about a lot also, is that anxiety has a real purpose. I mean, there are some things that we should worry about, and there are some things that prompt anxiety. There's some cues in the environment. For instance, I don't have the greatest tires for snow on my car, so that could prompt some anxiety. Going back to our caveman forebears, and you hear a saber-toothed tiger coming after you, and what are you going to do? You're going to have anxiety. And not only anxiety, with that comes sort of an exaggerated response, because once we get anxiety, we can start to worry about it. So she drew this, and I think it's a really good diagram for what happens when we have anxiety. I hope you can see this. Printing is a little small, but it's hard to write left-handed on a whiteboard. So the anxiety-producing event, in this case, snow prediction, creates a worried thought. Well, gosh, my tires really aren't the best for driving in this kind of snow. That creates an activation of the amygdala. So we can't really call it a reptilian hindbrain because we weren't ever reptiles that I know of anyway, but it is a very core part of us. And this is the part that releases the neurochemicals that create fight or flight response. So we have the adrenaline that we need to run away from the saber-toothed tiger or to jump out of the car and run through the snow, as the case may be. That creates the physical response. And usually the first physical response are things like elevated heart rate, respiration, your digestion slows down. This is why it's really difficult to eat and digest, and why people who worry a lot put on weight. It funnels the chemicals that add more cortisol, and you don't digest as well. But all that is part of your physical response. Then that sometimes creates more worry because you're like, oh my God, what's going on? Why am I having a heart attack? I mean, all of a sudden I have chest pain. I'm short of breath. And that's, again, perfectly normal for somebody who's suffering from a lot of adrenaline flowing through their system. So you get more worry, and that leads to an increased physical response. So it intensifies. One of the things that we have to realize as we go through this is that your cortex gets muted here. So the worry starts taking on sort of a life of its own. The intensified physical reactions then lead back to the original worried thought and even more worried thoughts. And round and round and round it goes. And this is something that can go on indefinitely. What's the way out? What we need to is create an escape loop. And anything that we can do probably around this point is, let's say I want to worry about this thing right now. This is just one worry. Even if we can do it here, just take this. This is the one worry that I can have right now. It's not anxiety. It's not about having anxiety. It's about there's something that's worrying me. I need to take care of that. And once we're able to do that, then we can get rid of that worry and short circuit the whole process. Because if you can sort of get it at the point in which maybe you can stop it like right around here. And okay, so your amygdala gets activated. That's physiologically, something that happens. It's the way our bodies are wired. If we can do that, if we can stop it then we have a chance of getting out of that loop that goes around and round. She said that anxiety is like a cult leader. It is like somebody that must be obeyed. Because think about it, when we get anxiety, we will do anything to get rid of it. We'll do whatever it wants. Anxiety wants comfort. It wants to be listened to. It wants to be handled. It demands your attention. And when it demands your attention, there's nothing you can do but comply. Yeah, there is. You can look at this as a normal emotion. You can look at this as something that everybody has from time to time. It serves a useful purpose. My oft cited quote is anxiety prevents us from doing things like picking up rattlesnakes and throwing rocks at policemen or any other dangerous activity you might happen to think of. It's something that we have. It's something that is part of us. It serves a purpose, but it does not deserve to take us over. It does not deserve the number one place in our lives. It doesn't deserve to have us care for it more than we care for ourselves. Caring for ourselves is really important. We need to be able to do that. We need to be able to take care of whatever is causing the anxiety. We need to start looking at anxiety as something to deal with, something we can handle, and something that we are capable of handling. It's how we change our relationship to anxiety. The emotion itself is something that we have. And this can apply to depression. This can apply to a variety, because I mean, once the amygdala gets operating and it's doing its thing, some of the thoughts that come out of it are depressive thoughts. They are ineffectual thoughts. They're, I can't do anything about this thoughts. So that circle goes round and round and gets more and more complicated with each iteration. Avoidance. Well, we can avoid anxiety up to a point and it gets you out of it this time. But if we see it as being case specific, we're going to worry about this thing right now. And we're going to take care of this thing right now. Not all anxiety. This fits in with what ACT teaches us about not being able to completely divorce ourselves from the emotion. Yeah, it's still out there. The problem is still out there. I still have to figure out a way to get home in the snow, but it doesn't mean that we have to be enslaved to it. It does not mean that it completely blocks our vision. If that gets between you and everything else that you see, then it's taking over and you're taking a backseat to an emotion. You still got the emotion, you still got the problem, but it's something that you have, it's something that you can deal with, and it doesn't have to enslave you. You do not have to drink the Kool-Aid. Following the Kool-Aid metaphor, it's a thing that we have to work on. It's something that cognitive behavioral therapy does a good job with. It's something that distress tolerance does a good job with. Mindfulness is good. Meditation is good. Physical exercise is excellent. There are a lot of things that we can do to combat anxiety. And I'll go into that a little more next time. But for now, thank you for holding space as we discuss anxiety, and I'll see you next time. Remember to comment, like, subscribe, ask me questions, remarks. I will answer as soon as I can. Thank you.